As we were talking about doing this episode this week, it made me think about early breakups and regrets. You guys got any of those from your, maybe back in the middle school, high school days?
Yeah, I had a few breakups because I was your, standard middle school, early high school guy who my first relationship lasted for 2 weeks. My second relationship was with the same girl, lasted like 3 weeks. But my first breakup that's worth mentioning is actually kind of hilarious. And it was Megan. I won't say her last name on the show, I guess, but she was a sweet girl. She married a guy, another guy I went to high school with, and he was a great guy. They have 3 or 4 kids now, but they are we were dating, I think, the summer after 8th grade, and Megan knew that I was very much, everyone kind of knew that I was kind of, I won't say obsessed, but you know what I mean.
But a little bit obsessed.
Yeah, with another girl, and
as a 14-year-old boy,
right? And I had been friend zoned real hard.
Oh man, that's the worst.
Yeah, it was the worst. And but no, so Megan and I were actually dating at the time, and this other girl, Emily, logged on to AOL Instant Messenger because I don't know.
As you do.
Everyone else was on MSN apparently. My class we were AOL. We were AIM people. So.
Man.
Anyway, so Megan and I are talking online because that's what you do. You can't talk in person or on the phone when you're in 8th grade. And Emily logged on, and it just so happened that there was a lull in my conversation with Megan. And then Megan got upset and said, well, I guess you don't have anything to say to me now that Emily is online. And I just paused and I thought, or she said, maybe you're too busy talking to Emily. And then I paused, and the only response that came to mind was, maybe we should break up.
Yeah.
So that's what I said.
Heartless.
And to this day,
wow.
To this day, I thought, you know what? If I am feeling that right now and I'm just not upset about it, then maybe we should break up.
Yeah.
And it's really too bad because Megan was like the upper echelon of girls that you would have wanted to date in our class. And
she was out of your league. And you
just like I had already outkicked my coverage, and I was like, this is not good enough. I don't know, like that. And
Megan,
that's not even how I felt. Yeah,
you're too good for him. Megan, you're too good for him. You really dodged a bullet.
Megan, if you end up listening to this, say hi to Ty. I love you guys. I'm happy for you. And then she ended up actually taking my dad's class. He was a professor at the local university, and he had a grill out with his students, and he was taking a video and having them all say stuff about the class for the year. And she knew that he was my dad. And he said, Megan, how do you feel about the class this year? You happy with it? Did you enjoy it? And she just looked at the camera and said, Aaron broke up with me. And that was
Wow. That was like 5 or 6 years later. Probably,
it was
right?
like 8 or 9 years later. Yeah. So
intense. Maybe we shouldn't talk about it,
but it was funny. I think it was in good humor. So
that's good. So, yeah. I feel like my early breakup, my first breakup was about the same time. I think it was eighth grade or something. And actually what's funny is how we got together. It shouldn't have happened. I really fifth wheeled really hard on a double date that I didn't realize was a double date. And turns out my buddy Steve was supposed to meet this girl named Crystal, but it turns out she met this guy named Jordan instead.
Nice.
Steve and my friendship suffered after that
for
a little while. Yeah. Most 8th grade boys are so ignorant of what's even happening. And I was too. I didn't even think about it. Like, I didn't even realize it was happening. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, this girl touched my leg. This is pretty cool. Like, I'm really into this. And when you're in 4th grade, and when you're in 4th grade,
that's really far.
When you're in 8th grade and a girl touches your leg, you're like,
the end of the world.
This is it. Like, oh man, I don't know what to do now.
Is this what marriage is?
But the really hard part though was that we dated for like an eternity after that, like probably close to 2 months, which in eighth grade years is like 97 years. So like if you break up after 2 months, that's like, wow, is there even life after this? But
in eighth grade you have week anniversaries. So then
so we've been dating for 4 days. So let's celebrate.
So I guess you could say things are getting pretty serious.
The problem was she went to the other middle school across town, and I, being a DeLong kid and her being a South kid, I ultimately felt that a long distance relationship was just too much for me, and ultimately I broke up with her over the phone over it being a long distance relationship because she probably lived like 3 miles away.
Yeah, that's a long ways.
So that's a heck of a bike ride, you know.
Man.
I don't have time for that.
You guys lived such different lives than I did.
Your story fits. It's going to fit better with next week's episode, but part of it does fit with this week's episode, right?
Yeah, I was maybe just like a shy little nerdy homeschooled kid that didn't go to real school till like 8th grade. But I didn't like. I don't know. I didn't have any of those middle school relationships, and I didn't even come close to dating till 10th grade. And
wow.
I started dating my wife in 10th grade. Not that she was my wife then, but like I've only been in one relationship. And we're talking about breakups and regrets this episode. Honestly, my only breakup I regretted. We were engaged and I got nervous and I got cold feet and I was like, I can't do this. And we broke up. I was living with Aaron at the time. It's Aaron's fault. I don't know.
I told him, Matt, you have got to leave this girl. It's not going to work out.
That's not how it went down.
Thank you for protecting me.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So we we broke up for like a month, like 8 months before the wedding, and wound up doing some counseling and working it out and talking it out, and we got back together and got married, and we're great. We've been married for 8 years and we have 5 kids, and things are just going crazily.
I've known Matt for a long time, and for those of you listening out there, the only time I remember ever seeing Matt just like basically look like a sad potato was during this period of time. I remember walking into Aaron's garage and seeing Matt just sitting on the couch that he had out in the garage, just slumped up in the corner, just being like, life is over. Everything's terrible. But
I was in a real special place that year.
It was
Aaron.
Hey, but we've made it, and breakups aren't for forever in Matt's case, but in some of our cases it is.